Hello, Moore Park. I'm talking to you all today to give you some messages around what's going to happen over the next 4 or 5 weeks. And then, I suppose, to think about what might happen for September as we go to reopen the school. As you know, during this period of closure, we've been doing a huge amount as a school to ensure that young people and families stay as engaged with learning as they can be. And we've done a huge amount of work on that. Many of you will know that, and for most of you, we've been in contact at some point, and your children, young people, have continued getting work set, and most have continued working hard throughout this whole period. However, we've now been in lockdown for the best part of 3 months, so that means that we are going to do some things in the next 4 weeks that are a little different, and I need to confirm some changes with you as we move on to the summer holidays. So let's start. On the 22nd of June, I can confirm that we will now be beginning our phased reopening of the school. Now, this is a really important moment for us as a school because really what it does, it marks the point where we begin to go back to some form of normality. So Year 10 and Year 12 will begin to come back to school on the 22nd of June for the last 4 weeks before the summer holidays. Year 10 will come in for one lesson a day to be taught maths, English and science in really small class bubbles. So there'll be no more than 30 young people on site in any given day, and that will mean that the chances of cross-infection and also the chances of young people mingling to and from school are limited. So that's what we're going to do. So Year 10 will come in for one day a week to be taught maths, English and science. They will also come in for one extra day just before the end of term where they can be taught their option lessons, and that's likely to be in even smaller lessons than they would be in even smaller classes, but in the same bubbles that they were doing their core lessons in. Year 12 will be invited back for one session a week per subject where they will come into school, meet their teachers, have a lesson delivered and then go home. So if this relates to you, you will receive a letter by the end of this week with more details and timetables. All of our safety measures will be included in this letter, and it's important that you read them carefully with your children in order to understand what they need to do if they're in Year 10 and 12 when they come back to school. Also, over the last week or two, we're beginning to bring in students that we are most concerned about. And if you're concerned that your children haven't been doing any work, or that you're concerned that your children need to come into school for a particular reason, then please contact the school and we will make sure that they come in. Maybe just for a day to get caught up in a very small group. So it'll be in a group of no more than maybe 7 or 8 students. So everything's socially distanced, everything's controlled within the school site. We think this is really important because, as we know, we're looking to reopen in September, hopefully fully, although we don't yet know that. And this is the beginning of that process. So it's really exciting for us, really exciting for me, because I've really missed schooling and young people being here. It's what we're all about. So I think that's great. You would have seen that live lessons have started this week. Really, we're only doing a few at the moment. As parents will know, work has been set on a daily basis through Microsoft Teams. Young people have been able to get feedback from and chat to their teachers. And we're now going to try to develop a bit more face-to-face interaction in the next 4 weeks, just to bring students in to a conversation with teachers. But if I'm honest with you, live lessons are not teaching. So even though they're a way of listening to a teacher's voice and seeing a teacher, they can nowhere near replace the classroom and the interaction they get with that. But that's something we're trying. With that in mind, we're going to be doing some catch-up meetings. And you're going to get some details in all year groups. Well, in Year 7, 8, 9 and 10, we're going to do some catch-up meetings with members of staff, with teachers. And we're going to, if in Year 7 and 8, those catch-up meetings will be on the 6th and 7th of July. In Year 9 and 10, those meetings will be on the 8th, 9th and 10th of July. The meetings will be held on Microsoft Teams, and staff members running the meetings will send out virtual invites to young people during the next 2 weeks. There will be full instructions published for parents and students, and they'll be available on the school website from next Monday. These meetings are really a chance for us to have a final catch-up with all students before the summer break, and parents are also invited to attend. So it's working almost like a virtual parents' evening where we can get a sense of how you've been doing, what's been going on at home, any help and support we need to offer you when you come back in September, because of course we're already planning to make sure that every student that comes back in September has a package put in place for them to ensure that they hit the ground running and that we can help them catch up on any work they've missed. There will also be a virtual careers week running across the same week, so that will be from the week of 6th of July, and all students will be taking part in a virtual careers week with work set that encourages them to think about the skills they'll need to enter the workforce. And given that many of them will be entering the workforce within the next 4 or 5 years, some of them sooner, this is a really crucial thing that we're doing. So for year 10 in particular, the work set will allow them to think about the skills that they should have begun to develop on their work experience week, which we obviously haven't been able to do this week. So year 7 to 9 activities will take place all across that week, and you'll be given lots of stuff that are slightly outside the curriculum you've been doing, which will be exciting. And year 10 activities will run from Wednesday to Friday, and we hope that doing some real world careers work will be a really good way of engaging young people at this time. So just to clarify, year 10 and 12 will be starting back this week, and details will be sent to you. There will be live lessons beginning, and some of your children will be receiving those across the next few weeks. We're hoping that everyone has an experience of a live lesson by the time we get to the holidays, because that might be part of the reality in September. There will be sort of virtual tutor meetings with individual young people and teachers, and they'll be running from the week beginning the 6th of July. At the same time, there will be a virtual careers week. Now, in terms of September, it's impossible for us to know at the moment quite what September is going to look like. There are a number of different scenarios, but I guess the most likely one are two scenarios, really. So the first likely scenario is that the infection rate drops over the summer holidays, and it is, of course, dropping now. Things are getting much, much better, and that we are able to open fully as normal from September. The second scenario is that the infection rate hasn't got to where Public Health England or the local authority wants it, and that we will be continuing some form of blended learning. So in other words, all young people will get an experience of physical schooling, coming in, meeting teachers, having lessons, meeting staff, but they will also be supplemented and supported by some live lessons maybe, and certainly by Microsoft Teams, and activities set as an extension to the work going on at school. So I probably will not know that until August, so we will send out further details to parents as all of those things happen. In the meantime, I hope you're all enjoying the good weather. We're missing you hugely, and we can't wait to get school back to normal. It's lovely that next week we're beginning to bring year groups back into the school, because this is what we're about. You'll also be very glad to hear that we are fully staffed for next year, that we've retained all of our fantastic teachers from this year and the year before into next year. So this school will be an ocean of stability as we move on to the future, meaning that your young people come back to school with names and faces that they know, with the security that they can learn effectively, and with the continued excellence that we were given before lockdown. So keep well, keep safe. I look forward to speaking to you all in person soon. Thank you.